I'm Chuck Todd. Up next on Hotline TV, I'm going to ask the John Mercurio if he can sing the national anthem better than Queen Hillary.
And we all know the answer to that. I'm John Mercurio, and I'll ask Chuck about why he's covering up his years spent at a madrasa in East Timor.
Up next on Hotline TV.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us. You can learn more about America's natural resources at nma.org, the National Mining Association.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
It's Hotline TV. I'm Chuck Todd.
And I'm John Mercurio. Chuck Todd, Hillary Clinton spent the weekend in Iowa, producer Dan's ancestral homeland. Yes, she did. And less importantly, the site of the first 2008 presidential caucus. Chuck, while I was out enjoying the weekend like a real American, you were being a typical Beltway pundit watching Hillary's every move on cable news. So catch me up, Chuck. How'd she do?
Wow, are you that bored about it?
No.
Here's the thing. I
like
like the rest of the Beltway punditry class. Expected her to bomb, do horribly, and created an expectation bar so low that she could easily clear it. No, in all honesty, I thought she did pretty well. She was better than I thought. I mean,
will do exactly, and I think we've talked about this. Not to cut you off, but
you cut me off.
But you got to give what you can get. She's going to do exactly the same throughout this campaign. She will be the most steady candidate, I think, of this entire campaign cycle. It's how Obama and John Edwards, I think, react to her and how they perform that's going to decide this race.
I'll say this though. To me, the two things caught my eye. One is the comfort level of playing the gender card. I mean, she absolutely is trying to turn this into a movement.
And you called that.
No, and I think it's what she has to do. I mean, I still believe that, and I think I get it. I mean, that's what they have to, although a little questionable in Iowa, a state that hasn't been kind to women in the past. Sure. The second thing that was interesting was sort of the typical media firestorm that gets created pretty much by anything Hillary says or does. She makes one little silly joke about evil men.
About bad men, yeah.
You know, about evil and bad men. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody in the crowd knows who she's talking about. Right. And the reporters, they spent 2 days asking her about this, right after the event. And then when she went to Davenport, they were asking her again. And she almost like snapped a little bit in a frustration that I actually, I sympathize with her. She said, you know,
you wanted me to be funny,
right.
And now I'm funny, and now you don't want me to be funny, and you're going to criticize. Yeah.
And I love that she used the word psychoanalyze, because that is something, and I'm guilty of it too.
Metaphor.
They get psychoanalyzed all the time.
But it's that little vignette you just described is a perfect metaphor for why she is such a guarded person. She's like, look, if I were to be the person who sort of came out and spoke plainly and was more relaxed and made a couple jokes every once in a while, I would be pounced upon.
The times that she has done it, I mean, the most famous time where she spoke her mind.
Tammy Wynette.
And look, and it's defined her ever since. So in some ways,
it was
it's no wonder.
15 years ago this weekend that she actually made those lines. But look, what I think is so interesting is that you did. You saw a much more relaxed Hillary. You saw her make that joke. Someone yelled out, "You go, girl," and she yelled right back, you know, "You go with me," sort of thing. But what's so strange, I think, still, is the fact that she's now running for president, and so she is now opening up. She's now relaxing. She's now showing us a much more comfortable, softer side. Why can't we have seen that same sort of softer side over the past 6 years? Why is it only when she runs for president that all of a sudden she offers up this more relaxed view to the world?
Okay. I mean, you know, it's also the only time that we're supposed to be covering her.
Well, but we watched her in the Senate campaigns.
The other thing I think that she deserves credit for, we had an Obama boomlet for about 72 hours. We've had this Clinton boomlet last almost a week now. I mean, they deserve some credit for sort of dragging. Now, obviously, it's going to be Obama's turn starting on February 10th, where he gets to sort of have his moment. But it'll be interesting. I think the Obama people have a challenge on their hands.
Sure.
Clinton has extended this, and we're going to have it once again this weekend with New Hampshire. She has created sort of a 2-week boomlet for herself.
Absolutely.
Obama needs to figure out how to follow up. His little initial thing lasted 3 days.
And
he's got to figure out how to take his February 10th thing and see if he can make that last for a week to 10 days.
And frankly, the two of them, I think, were expecting to sort of go into the State of the Union, the President's State of the Union speech, and watch sort of the President usually wants a bounce out of that speech, but I think that Hillary and Obama both wanted a little bit of a bounce out of that speech.
They did too.
She got it, I think. I don't think
he did. Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think by comparison, the two of them.
There is this feeling, even though it's one of those underbelly things you feel like you're feeling inside the beltway, it's like one of those, she just she's had the better first announcement.
She has had the better. I will
let's
give
give
her
her
that. All right, well, that'll do it for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we ask if Mike Huckabee is for real, or rather if he's being a governor from Arkansas in an automatic disqualifier for the presidency. Till then, I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Chuck Todd, and I can read. So we'll see you next time on Hotline TV.
And I misread.
Oh, hello.
In all senses of the word.